Hi and hello, I am Athena Pondian here. Welcome to the Anatomy for the Biomedical Engineers classroom once again. Today we are going to continue the topic of digestive system. So in this topic we are going to see the parts involving in the digestive system and what are all the parts involving in it and what is the function of each and every parts, especially for the process of digestion and everything you are going to see today. Come, let me start the class now. Digestion. Of course, we know that digestion is nothing but the breakdown of food materials into smaller and smaller components, okay, until the absorption and assimilation process happens in our body. So the process of digestion, of course, we know that it starts from the mouth. It starts from the mouth. Once the food is entered into the mouth, your mechanical process called as a chewing process starts with the help of teeth and the muscles present in the mouth. So during the process of chewing, some of the enzymes that is secreted from the glands, a three pair of salivary glands are present in the mouth. The three pair of salivary glands are present in the mouth. The one is called as the parotid gland, the second is called as the submandibular gland, and the third is called as the sublingual gland. All these three are considered as the salivary glands that are all present especially for secreting the saliva. Okay, this parotid gland is the very largest salivary gland that is present in the mouth, and this submandibular gland is the next largest salivary gland that is present in the mandibular, just below the mandibular teeth of the mouth. This particular sublingual is present beneath the tongue, and this parotid gland is present in the internal of the oral cavity. So this is the region, and these are all the three important salivary glands, a pair of salivary glands that is especially for the secretion of the saliva. You know that there is almost 1.5 to there is 0.5 to 1.5 liters of saliva that is secreted in a single day. Okay, that is because of these particular salivary glands. Then this particular parotid gland, then a submandibular gland and sublingual gland that is secreting saliva. That saliva consists of the enzyme called the amylase and the lingual lipase. So this amylase and the lingual lipase that is secreted from the salivary gland, it will help the digestion along with the chewing process to crush the material into smaller and smaller. So once the chewing process along with the enzymes of the salivary gland, the food materials is converted into the small and smaller components, and it looks like a small round shaped structure that is called as the bolus. And the next portion of the digestive system is esophagus. So once the bolus is created from the mouth, it will start entering into the stomach. So from the mouth to the stomach, there is a connection called the esophagus. This esophagus is around 25 centimeter long, and it is made up of fully fibrous muscular tube. It is a fibrous muscular tube is around 25 centimeter long from mouth to the stomach. The bolus that is created in the mouth, that is attain the peristaltic movement, like this, that will attain the peristaltic movement to reach the stomach. So this is the process of digestion that has happened in the esophagus. There is no secretion of enzymes, there is no presence of glands, nothing is there in the esophagus. Only it is just act as a traveling path. The next region after the esophagus is the part called the stomach. The full process, just a J-like structure. That is called as the stomach. The stomach is the muscular bag-like structure. It will store the food for certain minutes for the process of digestion. Okay, so here we just go to see the parts of the stomach, and then we go to the internal anatomy and the functions. Okay, see, in the starting portion of this particular stomach consists of esophageal sphincter muscle. esophageal sphincter muscle. The next to this portion, the next to the esophageal sphincter, the portion is called as the cardia region. The portion is called as the cardia region of the stomach. And then this bulging portion is called as the fundus of the stomach. Okay. Then this portion is called as the body of the stomach. And then after the body of the stomach, all these regions are called as the pyrolic region. Okay. In that, this particular region is considered as the pyroric antrum. This canal is considered as the pyrolic canal. And this last region of the stomach is considered as the pyrolic sphincter muscle. Okay. This is the region, that is, this is the main parts of the stomach. In the internal, we have the serosa, internal muscles. In that, the lining of the oxyntic cells are present. Okay. So this is the major parts of the present in the stomach. Then, once the bolus attains the peristaltic movement, it will reach the stomach. The sphincter muscle, the main process of the function of the sphincter muscle is it can able to open and close, just like an act as a valve, and not exactly a valve, but once we can give a force, then with the door open. Once you are not giving any force, the door closes. So during the process of peristaltic movement, the bolus give the pressure, that is the esophagus give the pressure to open the esophageal sphincter. Once the esophageal sphincter is open, then the food is entered into the stomach. During the time, this pyrolic sphincter closes. That is, no forces acting in the pyrolic sphincter. So the pyrolic sphincter closes. Once all the food is entered into the stomach, then the esophageal sphincter is also closed. Both the esophageal sphincter and the pyrolic sphincter get closed. So for a certain time, the food material that is present in the stomach is keep on stored. Okay. During the process of storing, the oxyntic cell producing the hydrochloric acid that is present in the inner wall of the stomach, this hydrochloric acid crush the food materials into the much smaller and smaller components. Okay, much smaller and smaller components, this food material is crushed here. Okay, then that food material is converted into the, just like a chyme. They are called as a chyme. The next process of the bolus, the food material crushing into very tiny and smaller components. That is called as the chyme. That process will happen here. Once the process for food materials is turned into a chyme, then the food material starts moving into the next portion. During the time, the muscular bag will give the pressure to the pyrolic sphincter. During the pressure, because of that particular pressure, the pyrolic sphincter opens. Next region of the digestive system is small intestine. After the pyrolic sphincter, the duodenum is the starting region of this particular small intestine. It is around 3 to 5 meter long, and it having the diameter of around 2.5 to 3 centimeter diameter. So this particular small intestine starts from the duodenum. It is around 3 to 5 meter long, and it having the diameter of around 2.5 to 3 centimeter in diameter. This small intestine consists of 3 main regions, that is called as the duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So these 3 regions are responsible for the digestion, especially for the absorption of the nutrients. The absorption of the nutrients happen in this particular small intestine region. Come, let me see what is the duodenum parts. Okay. Of course, we know that the duodenum is the starting region of the small intestine. Along with the duodenum, the pancreatic duct and the liver duct will join. The pancreatic duct carries the pancreatic juice, and the bile duct carries the bile juice from the liver. Okay. Then this particular duodenum carries the chyme that is present in the stomach. So the chyme and the pancreatic juice and the bile juice that is collaborated in the duodenum. Here in the duodenum, there is a gland called the Berners gland. That Berners glands also secreted some of the alkaline secretion. That alkaline secretion consists of bicarbonate. So this bicarbonate and these juices from the pancreas and the liver that converts that gastric chyme into the alkaline stage. That is the concentration of the acids, that is the chyme that is present in the food, right? Hydrochloric acid is present, so it is fully concentrated. That particular concentration is slow down because of the mixture of this bicarbonate present in the Berners gland, the pancreatic juice and the bile juice. So the acidic material is converted into the alkaline here in the duodenum itself. Next region of the small intestine is nothing but the jejunum. The jejunum is one of the longest portion in the small intestine. It is around 2.5 meter long. It is around 2.5 meter long, but the duodenum length is very small. It is around only 25 centimeter long. It is in the centimeter long distance, but here it is in the meter long, 2.5 meter length. This particular jejunum is the second portion of the small intestine. This jejunum consists of small circular folds in it, in the inside wall. That is called as the pilla circulae. Okay, that's pilla circulae having some of the finger-like projections in it. That finger-like projections are called as the villi. Pilla circulae and this particular villi is responsible for the absorption of the food material. Once the acidic material, that is acidic gastric juice, is converted into the alkaline bicarbonate food material, then that particular food material consists of so many nutrients. Okay, that food nutrients along with the food material is absorbed here in this villi. The absorbed food materials, that is absorbed nutrients, will be transferred into the bloodstream. Next portion of the small intestine next to the jejunum is ileum. It is also 3 meter long, as like as your second portion of the small intestine, jejunum. So this 3 meter long is also consist of villi. As like as the jejunum, this ileum is also contains some of the villi. This villi is especially responsible for the absorption of two main chemicals. That is, one is vitamin B12 and the bile acids. Okay, this vitamin B12 and the bile acid is especially absorbed here in this villi of the ileum. Then along with the other escaped food materials, nutrients are also absorbed in this ileum region. The next portion of the digestive system is large intestine. This large intestine is also a longest region. It is around 1.5 meter long in length. Okay, this large intestine is look like a shape like this. The rough diagram I just put. So inside it, that is the small intestine is present. So this is the small structure, that is a freehand structure of this large intestine. This large intestine consists of so many parts. In that, the first part is colon. This particular part, the fully considered as the colon. Okay, here this portion, only this portion is called as the ascending colon. This portion is called as the transverse colon. This portion, and this portion is called as the descending colon. And at the end of the descending colon, that is a sigmoid colon. Okay, then after the sigmoid colon, there is a portion called as the rectum, and the last it is anus. So this is the parts present in the large intestine. So here the absorption is also happen in this large intestine, not as like as a small intestine. Small intestine is purposely responsible for the absorption of the nutrients, but here the large intestine is absorbed only two things. One is water substances and the bile salts. So bile salts and the water substances is absorbed here from the food material that is executed from the small intestine, is done here in this particular colon region. The colon is also contains some of the small region of the villi. That villi is responsible for absorbing the water and the salts from the food material. Okay, then once the absorption is got over, once the absorption is a clear absorption is got over, this particular food material enter into the rectum. Okay, in the rectum, the accumulated all the particle, the food material will be joined here. Okay, the accumulated here. Once the rectum is got fully, Then this anus is got open. This anus consists of the sphincter muscle. The sphincter muscle, already I told you, the sphincter muscle, because of the pressure created in the previous section, the sphincter muscle got open. Once the rectum is fully filled with the food material, then the sphincter muscle is pressurized and then it is open. Then it is released, the wastage food material is released through the anus. So this is the main process that is happened in the large intestine. So that's all about the process of digestive system, that is parts involving in the digestive system, that is starts from the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and all the accessory parts and everything will help the food to digest and release as the waste material. Okay, so this is the process and the parts that is involving in the digestive system. Hope so you understand what I'm saying. Then the next class you are going to see next parts, that is very important, enzymes that is responsible for this particular digestive system process. Okay, thank you.